Hello, hello. I am Jennifer, and I'm going to come in sometime midday each day, and I'm going to give you a little bit of information on food or nutrition or both. I thought I'd start today by telling you a food plan that I follow personally. I am 48 years old, a few months shy of 49, and a little over a year away from 50, or half a century. Yes, it's free tea. Anyway, I have had many digestive issues, including severe IBS to the point where I had to limit eating out because I never knew when I was going to have a real problem. I had esophagitis. I was on medication for acid reflux. I have a hiatal hernia. I had many skin issues that were caused by my digestive problems. But ultimately, I was always thin. I exercised most of my life, but I was very sick on the inside, which was beginning to show on the outside. So through various different, I'm a big believer in something called bioindividuality, which is finding out what is the healthiest way for you personally to eat. What works for me may not work for you, may not work for someone else. And you may be thinking, so why is that? Why can we not have the perfect food plan for everybody? Well, if we had all started from ground zero the same and started then and did all the same things our whole lives, was under all the same environmental situations, well, then we could do that, but we weren't. We were exposed to different environmental toxins. We were exposed to different foods. We ate different foods growing up. We treated our bodies differently. And therefore, the results are that we are all incredibly different. We have different gene pools. That alone can cause differences. So, having said that, a good example is I cannot process gluten. Some people can. Now, should they be eating the white bread sitting on the shelf at the grocery store? No! I just scared my dog. But something like a really good Ezekiel bread that's in the freezer section is a great alternative for them. Whereas for me, it won't work because it does still have some gluten in it. So that's another topic for another day. However, what I want to talk about today is there are different types of food plans that you can follow. Beachbody has the container plan. The container plan worked great for me for a while, but as I get older and my hormones change, and I am currently in perimenopause, and those things made it so that the container food plan was not the best plan for me. However, I still look at, am I getting enough of the different colors of containers? I just don't do the meal, snack, meal. I do 3 meals. And that is what works best for my body in my age group and under the conditions that my body is in. Now, the other thing that I do is I only eat within an 8-hour time frame. This is called intermittent fasting. And there are various different types of intermittent fasting. And basically, all it means is that you have times of eating and times of fasting. Now, everybody does that, really, right? Because when you're sleeping, you're not eating. However, the difference is that if you are not going at least 12 hours without eating, your body never gets to burn your fat stores. And so that's the concept behind the eating eating for only 8 hours and fasting for 16. So what I basically do in my perfect day, and my work schedule is kind of weird, so I have to move things around a lot. But in my perfect day, I would eat from 10 o'clock to 6 o'clock, okay? And basically, I would work out before that 10 o'clock, because if you can work out in what's called a fasted state, which means you have not eaten, you're at the end of your fast, then you will burn the most fat during your workout, okay? That's what we want, right? I mean, like, for real, that's what we want. I don't know, that's what I want. So anyway, that is what I do and how I eat. So today, my first meal was at 10. My dinner will be at 6. Therefore, I will go 16 hours without eating. That means that for 12 of those hours, I will still be in the process of digesting food. Your process of full digestion and elimination is approximately 12 hours, which means since digestion in your body is what takes more energy than anything else you do. That from the time you put your food in your mouth until it is eliminated out of your body, you are putting more energy into that than I ate a little while ago. That means I'm still more energy in my digestion than talking like this. So once I hit that 12 hours, then the last 4 hours that I'm not eating, I am just burning fat, because everything I do is coming from energy that is not coming from something called glycogen, which is stored energy from the food you've just eaten. My body is in a state of ketosis, which is burning energy, burning fat. It's all a little complicated, but the gist of it is when you're not digesting food, you are burning fat, and that is what we want. So if that is something that you think might work for you, here are some ways that you could get started doing something like that, okay? Let's say that your morning starts like this. You get up, you have your coffee, you get ready for work, you grab your breakfast, you eat in the car on the way to work. What you're going to want to do if you want to start doing this is you are going to want to look at your schedule and say, where is the best time for me to be able to skip a meal and work out during that time? Now, some people can't do that. I have some clients who say, okay, I'm not going to be able to work out during my fasted state. It's just not going to work. I work out when I get home from work, and I'm clearly not going to not eat all day at work. I mean, that's just not going to work. So they just can't do that. They still can follow in intermittent fasting. They just won't be able to work out in a fasted state. But let's say my schedule when I work teaching gymnastics, I work from 4 to 8, right? So what that means for me is on those days, I stop my eating and make sure I have 16 hours from the day before until what my eating plan time is, which is about 7 or 7:30 the next day. Okay, so I will stop eating today somewhere around 5 or 5:30, and then I'll eat somewhere around 7 or 7:30 tomorrow. And so then I get up early. I do my morning time. We'll talk about that another time. And I do my workout, and then by 7 or 7:30, I am eating a great, big, healthy breakfast of something like my shake, which has a cup of blueberries, a cup of spinach, and a cup of coconut water in it. And I drink vegan Shakeology, either chocolate or strawberry. And actually, I have ordered a vegan cafe latte, which I'm very excited to try. So I'll have my shake, and then I will also have some more fruit with breakfast, and maybe some oats or a rice cereal, or a piece of gluten-free toast, something like that. And that will be my breakfast. I will eat as much fruit as I want. And that is something different than the container food plan that limits your fruit because of the sugar. And that is because when you're on that food plan, you are trying to lose weight. I am not currently trying to lose weight. I am at a good weight right now. So my goal is always just to stay healthy and lean. Therefore, I eat as much fruit as I want. However, I eat fruits that are lower on the glycemic index. So you can look that up online. I can post a picture of that at some point this week, showing you the fruits that are on the lower glycemic level. And then I will eat lunch, say around 11-ish. Sorry, it's my washer. And I will have a giant salad with tons of vegetables on it. I may have a little more fruit. I will definitely have some raw nuts, some raw seeds like pumpkin seeds or sunflower seeds on there. In my fruit in the morning, I forgot to say, I will have a tablespoon of flax meal or ground flax. If you eat flax seeds in the seed form, they just kind of go right through you. So you want to grind up that flax, and they're really good omega-3s for you. And so then on my salad, I will probably have some mushrooms. Mushrooms are great for you. I'll do like, you know how you buy romaine in they come in the 3 heads. I'll eat a whole head of that romaine with probably a quarter to a half of a cucumber, a half of a big red bell pepper. I'll put alfalfa sprouts on. Sprouts are great because, just like when a baby is in a womb and it's beginning to grow, there are a lot more, it needs a lot more vitamins and a lot more, those sprouts still have a lot of nutrients and vitamins in them because it's all stored up for that plant to grow. So since the plant is just starting to grow, there's still a ton of nutrients in that sprout. So I'll put sprouts on. Those are great for you. And then for dinner, I'll do something like a sweet potato and a whole lot of cooked vegetables and maybe a little bit of meat. Sometimes I eat meat, sometimes I don't. Also, sometimes I have eggs, sometimes I don't. But the thing about animal proteins is that they do have what's called vitamin B12 that you would otherwise, without any animal proteins, you have to take supplements of that. So that's like the one thing you cannot get in other foods. Now, having said that, you're thinking, what about protein? Well, I also will eat a lot of beans. I eat beans almost every day. Make sure if you're buying them in a can, they're low sodium. Don't rinse them because there's a lot of nutrients on that, what the beans were contained in. Make sure they're organic, non-GMO, that kind of stuff. So that's kind of a sample of what I do. And then my last meal will also be at 4:00, and I will not eat again until 7 the next morning. So, and that's easy for me to do because I am working from 4 to 8. I come home, I do a little work on the computer, I go to bed. Simple as that. So that's just a little bit of an idea of what I do currently for my diet. It's different probably than Tabitha and Wendy. If you have questions about my food, let's say if you're in my age group and your hormones are cuckoo, reach out to me. Feel free to comment on this video and I'll be glad to answer some questions. Also, you can ask Tabitha what she does. You can ask Wendy what she does. Although I'm sure they'll share a little bit more this week and throughout the month. I also will continue to share little tidbits on health and fitness and food. Sometimes I'll show food and I'll list out what the ingredients and what's good about a particular ingredient, things like that. So I hope you find it helpful. I hope this gives you some ideas of how to get started on this. One of the things I suggest is if you are wanting to do this, start with 12 hours and 12 hours and ease your way in. The other thing is during your fasting time, make sure you're drinking a ton of water. You still need water. So if you're trying to stay out of the kitchen so you're not tempted, remember, you still need water. Bring your water out with you. Have a blessed day, everybody, and make sure you press and play and get your workout done. I have several people that I will be reaching out to today. If you were invited by me or by someone who knows me, I will be reaching out to you today in order to come up with a plan for you and your schedule this month. So I love that you guys are in this group. I hope you're beginning to get motivated. I hope you're starting to do some things, and I'll talk to you soon.